This former track athlete got out of his comfort zone last weekend, and I hiked 27 miles on the 4-pass loop outside of Aspen, Colorado. Now, I rarely do gear videos here at Strength Running, but I wanted to share all the gear that I used, from food, clothing, and some other interesting things that I brought with me to help me out on this particular hike, because this hike had about 8,000 feet of elevation gain. It took place between 9,500 and 12,500 feet altitude, and it was just about 27 miles. In fact, it was 26.97, which kind of kills me on the inside. I almost did a parking lot loop, but that's neither here nor there. So let's get started with the gear, the clothing that I used to help me on this 27-mile adventure that I did last weekend. All right, let's start with our gear. So first things first, for the shoes that I wore for this hike, I wore the Saucony Exodus trail running shoes. I really like the Vibram sole that they have on here, and I'm someone who does like a little bit more of a minimalist shoe, so I didn't want a true hiking boot for this adventure. I wanted a trail running shoe that was a little bit more firm. So this has some good support to it. The sole here of the shoe underneath is really firm. It's got that firm rubber Vibram outer, and that really helped protect me from a lot of the rocks. Anything much more minimalist, anything softer than this, and I think I would have really struggled with feeling the trail underneath my foot, but it also gave me enough ground feel where I felt comfortable on the trail. So big thanks to Saucony for their new Exodus trail shoes. I really enjoyed these. Now for my clothes, I was fully decked out in Path Projects gear. So I was wearing this Path Projects athletic shirt, which is a button-down collared shirt, which is fun, and it has this great pattern on it. I really like Path Projects for their technical running gear. They only make clothing for men. They're a pretty small company. They haven't yet ventured into the women's market, but nevertheless, huge fan of what they're doing and how they make their clothes. I love how this looks. I love how this feels. I felt great on the trail using it. Now, I also used the Path Projects sun hoodie. I think if you are going to be exposed at high altitudes to sun for hours and hours, protecting yourself from the sun is a really good idea. This was nice because when we started the hike at about 5:15 in the morning, it was about 50 degrees. It was pretty chilly, and this kept me warm when it was cold in the morning, and it protected me from sun in the afternoon when it was really sunny. Okay, so let's move on to my pack. This is going to be really important because this hike took about 14 and a half hours total time. I think it was 12:26 of moving time, but I need to bring a lot of water. I used a Nathan pack. I have no relationship with either Saucony, Path Projects, or Nathan. These are just some products I really enjoy. This Nathan pack has a 1.5 liter bladder. You can see I put some paper towels in there to absorb some excess water as I washed it out, but this was really important because it allowed me to carry a fair amount of water in my vest right from the start, and I did put Element in my Nathan. So I had 2 packets of Element electrolytes, which was 2,000 milligrams of sodium. It also has potassium and magnesium in there, but 1.5 liters of water isn't enough for a 14.5-hour day at altitude. So I also had a Life Straw bottle with me. These are great options for when you actually have to drink river water. And this will filter out parasites, bacteria, any kind of viruses in there that you're really worried about, things that, might make you sick if you're drinking river water. So this was really fantastic. I like it because it's instant. I don't have to wait around like if you're using a UV wand in your water. You just put the water in there and then you suck it through the top. Now, the drawback with this is that I couldn't filter my water and then put it in my pack, which probably would have been my preferred option, but nevertheless, this was a perfectly fine solution for me. I enjoyed it, and thanks to LifeStraw. This was a little expensive. I bought this myself, but when it comes to keeping yourself alive out on the trails, you can't go wrong. A big thanks to our brand partner, Beam, for supporting our YouTube channel. Their Dream product is amazing. It is my favorite sleep supplement out there. And that's because it only has 3 milligrams of melatonin. I tend to get pretty groggy if I take a lot of melatonin, especially 5 milligrams, and I hate that. So I love Dream because it tastes amazing. Their cinnamon cocoa flavor is to die for, but it doesn't have as much melatonin in it as some other products out there. And the L-theanine and the magnesium do wonders at promoting relaxation and helping you stay asleep and get that deep sleep that you really need. So if you're someone who struggles getting to sleep, staying asleep, or if you're like me, tonight, I actually have to go to bed at 8 p.m. because I'm getting up at 3:30 in the morning for a 27-mile hike tomorrow. So I need to go to sleep early and get that good sleep. Dream is helping me out. And they're actually offering up to 40% off. 40% if you get a subscription, 25% if you just want to try it for a single purchase. If you go to shopbeam.com/strength and use code STRENGTH for that discount. Big thank you to Dream for sponsoring the channel. Go shopbeam.com/strength. Get your Dream, get your sleep optimized, and take advantage of the #1 recovery tool that us runners have, is a good night's sleep. Okay, let's talk food. I wasn't too crazy about the food that I brought with me. Let's see. I tried this Equip Prime bar, which uses grass-fed beef protein, collagen, colostrum, tallow. This was for a little bit of protein. I also had blueberry Pop-Tarts. Love the blueberry Pop-Tarts. Big fan of the dried mandarins from Trader Joe's. And to keep me busy out on the trail, I had some sunflower seeds, which was great because it gave me some extra protein while I was out there, as well as some more salt, because I definitely was sweating a lot when it was getting hot. Now, I also took these ketone shots. These are the caffeinated version with the peach flavor in there. I really like these. I took this mostly for the caffeine, but the 5 grams of ketone supplements in here, I think is something that I would continue to take as well. Later on in the hike, I actually had a 10-gram ketone supplement that didn't have any caffeine in it, but just wanted to make sure I was covering my bases. Finally, let's back up to the night before. The night before, I had to go to bed early because, like I said, we were starting this hike at 5:15 in the morning. We had to wake up at 4. I wanted to go to bed early and get a decent night's sleep beforehand, so I used Beam as my sleep aid the night before. One of the things I really like about Beam is that they don't have some of the higher doses of melatonin in it. That tends to make me feel groggy the next morning. Certainly did not want to feel groggy first thing in the morning at 4 a.m. So this Dream product by Beam, which I really love, their cinnamon cocoa flavor is just delicious. It only has 3 milligrams of melatonin in it, which I think is just enough, makes you feel good without all that groggy feeling in the morning. It also has L-theanine and magnesium. Both of those are supposed to help you feel relaxed, be able to drift off, not feel anxious as you go to sleep. And then the magnesium helps you get a little bit more deep sleep. So big thanks to Beam for supporting the YouTube channel as well. They are one of our sponsors. Very grateful for what they do for us athletes. And during the hike, I was using my Coros Apex 2 Pro watch to track everything, as well as the Coros armband heart rate monitor. These are indispensable tools. No matter what I'm doing, whether I'm hiking, riding my bike, strength training, or running, I am using these 2 tools to get as much data as I can. A lot of that is just because it's interesting to me. I'm not actually using it to inform my training, but especially with heart rate, it does help me keep the effort where it's supposed to be. And on this particular hike, my max heart rate was 150 beats per minute, which is high for a hike. But when you consider you're sometimes hiking up a 25% grade at 12,000 feet altitude, it certainly can get pretty high as your body is struggling with the low oxygen up there at altitude. All right, there we have it, my friends. Those are all the gear, the products, the food, what I wore to accomplish this incredible adventure. It really was one of the most beautiful days of my life. It just felt like every 30 minutes I was given a postcard of views that was more beautiful than anything I've ever seen. And with these long events, when you are, doing a trail marathon, or you're going to be out in the wilderness for a very long time, whether it's an ultra marathon or even just a long hike like I did, it's really important to have the gear you need to help you accomplish the goal, but also keep you safe out there. Things like proper footwear, proper fueling, having a filtered water source, and things like that. I am gonna put links under this video if you guys wanna check out any of these products. Like I said, I don't really have a relationship with most of these products. Ketone IQ used to be a sponsor. I think you can still get a discount if you use the link in the description. Beam is a sponsor. Other than that, these are just products that I use, I like, and if you find yourself in a situation like I was, I think they can help you too.